Hey everyone, it's Scriptworks. I am back. I apologize for being gone for so long. It's been a while. Been doing a lot of things, trying to get a lot of things scheduled and planned for events, whatnot. But what I'm bringing to you today is I just wanted to show you guys that with a little bit of time, within under an hour actually, you can improve yourself just by some one-on-one training through me, or obviously just coming through, or developing. Okay, I'm sorry. Um, I was gonna redo all of that, but I chose not to. Oh man, I'm so thrown off. But anyways, let's get back onto the subject. I had Tony come back in, and he's been here before. He's actually tried this, but he hasn't like actually, tried to progress or try to get better as he did this past day. He did come with his brother. I don't have any footage of with his little brother, just because we weren't doing this for that. But I had Tony sit down. We picked the GTR, something simple, and it's a really heavy car, all-wheel drive, so it should be a little bit easier. You won't get too much oversteer, a lot more understeer with this car. And we picked this track called Zondorf or Zingadorf. Not too sure how to say it, but it's a really good track, and I consider this like a comparable track to Sakuba, where if you're getting under a minute, that's great. I went back later and actually did a little bit of, just I guess you can just say just a race myself. Yeah, about 4 laps, and I was able to put down a 56. So, as Tony started this out, you'll see in this video, he didn't start off doing the best. I told him go ahead and get out there, and as I was sitting there waiting to be loaded up, I would come in and I would join him, as you guys are seeing now. Now, Tony's problem during this whole lapping, lead and follow cat and mouse thing was that he didn't understand how fast he was initially going, just as everybody else's problem will be, is because you don't get that sense of speed anymore. That dynamic is pretty much gone because you're not sitting in a car. Now, motion platform, that's where that comes in, and it's really suitable to kind of help a person to figure out and dial in how fast they're actually going, because you're never looking at your speedometer. I mean, you might take a glimpse, but by the time you're already looking at it, it's already too late. So it was trying to get him to understand to slow his pace down, to brake earlier a little harder, because he wasn't braking enough at sometimes. He would brake at the right points, but he wasn't applying it, as you can see in his braking gauge, to set his car and position it correctly to go through the S's, or position himself to get the front end to actually start turning over into that apex. And he was getting a lot of understeer when he was diving into the turns, because he was coming in too hot and trying to recover after you've already committed with that speed into a turn. You're pretty much gone, and you can see he overshoots turn one multiple times, and kind of create a montage as we're going through. So through the laps, which I think it comes about now from 10 to maybe 14, those laps he starts overshooting lap one. And I know he was trying to catch up, because I told him, stay on me, try to keep that, or try to maintain that distance between him and I, and again, just follow my lead. One of the main things that was occurring was that I was picking up pace in section 2 and 3, but Tony kept his pace really well in section 1. So he would try to close that gap between us both by late braking into turn 1. Right now he's doing a little bit better of a job. You can see that his time now is a 101.04. Now originally you guys didn't see this because this was part of a different section of the video that I didn't include, but he was only doing a 103. When we started doing the whole lead and follow with me leading, he was able to direct himself onto the race line and kind of follow my path, and we built up that pace. And then he was able to drop down to the 101.054. There you guys see. We're going to skip through pretty soon, and you're going to see how he starts dropping the sub minutes. And that's where we start actually doing an overtake challenge. He's right there. He applied the brakes really well. A little bit understeer right here, but he's getting onto the throttle perfectly at the right time, so he's not He's not allowing me to build that gap or that space. So that was good recovery. So this was another hard turn that he wasn't necessarily getting correct. That one you have to, like, you gotta brake early, and you gotta get your turning already initiated as you're braking, so you can literally get the front end of that car to point at that apex, and maybe even right over the curbing, just so you can get a better line out coming on the exit. A little too much speed. That was good. Whenever you're understeering, you gotta let off that throttle just a bit, just so you can get that car to repivot itself, which is what he did. Okay, so now we jumped up forward. We're on lap 13. He's now sub-minute in the 59s, which I was very impressed by, because again, this is only the second time I'm doing it. That was when he told me to hurry up. Yeah, I thought I can carry out a drift, and I was losing it. And then again, this time I tried to purposely get into a drift, but I wasn't carrying enough speed. Okay, so here you guys are gonna see a little montage of him just overshooting, and he was consistently getting into the minutes to the 59 seconds, but he was getting so excited about getting into the next lap that he would forget to apply enough brakes to slow himself down. Even right here, this is the end stretch on section 3, and doing a really good job right there on saving that through the S's, carrying a lot of speed right here. Did good, got off the gas, let the car coast, and already he's picking up more speed than I was on that stretch. Okay, so we're jumping a bunch of laps. Now we're on lap 29. We're about 40 minutes into his hour session, and this is where we start really picking it up. I'm following, and I told him his main objective is just to try to pass me, and I'm gonna really start attacking this course. So right now, you see I just transitioned from that apex, moved to the outside lane. Look at, I took that corner perfectly, really good, nice and smooth on the gas on the exit. He did even better than I've told him how to take that turn. He got off the gas, instead of braking, he just let the car kind of coast and then redirected it. Carried a little too much speed, but so did I. But it's fine. This corner is kind of forgiving. And let's see, his delta's already up in the green. Boom, 58.626. Really impressive. And again, he started off doing a 103 just on his own without me assisting. And this is one of the examples that I told you. He gets kind of carried away. He checks the time real quick, gets a little happy, and tries to start pushing it, and gives it a little too much and spins out. Trying to overtake him. This objective currently is just about me simply trying to pass him. So I'm going full out, cojones to the wall, and he needs to just keep he needs to focus, basically, not get distracted by me looking in the rearview mirror, none of that. And this is another part of the training factor that really, even for myself, helps me. So the more people that I get, it's only helping me build my own focus point, because when I'm doing my follows and people have to follow me, it's the same. I'm getting the same feedback, just as he's getting. It's that pressure, apply pressure, and trying to maintain that pace, trying to defend, but also trying to become faster as well. So Right there, he kind of overshot it. I saw my hole. That was my gap right there. But that corner is so forgiving that you can still mess it up a little and carry enough speed as long as he got on the throttle, which is what he did. And he was able to kind of keep that, he was able to, keep his pace with me alongside. Alright, so now I got past, so now I told him to simply try to overtake me. Yeah, right now we've been doing this for, again, close to an hour. I think we might be around like 50 minutes. Because I remember I did mention that I didn't include the previous like 20 minutes of us doing laps around here. So mentally, I mean, we've been nonstop. So for him not doing this on the regular, this was definitely this is a mental challenge, and on top of that, this is a physical challenge as well, because he is getting a lot of force feedback given in that wheel. I mean, right there you can see when he's applying the brakes, he's getting that ABS shock in the steering factor. So there's multiple levels of things that you're working on while you're trying to improve your driving, which is really great in a sense. I mean, this is before we even include the VR, the motion platform. So I can only expect things to get even tougher for people, and let alone this is going to transition for everyone when they actually go on track now. So now we are coming up on the end of our session, and again, we were still doing the whole overtake challenge, and I thought I saw a gap. I went for it, and he didn't see me. I didn't necessarily see him, and I bumped him, which caused him to go into this total GTR. But yeah, and that was it for our session. I was pretty satisfied. I was happy to see what I saw, and I think he was just ready for a break. Again, this concludes the video. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for taking your time out of your day. Please hit that like button. It will help build this channel up. I will be back with more series, with the F1 series, more Assetto things. If you like one-on-one training videos, come by the shop. We'll do them. We'll get them made. Have a good night, y'all.